I don't have a noisemaker, but that's what editing is for. We're celebrating today. Welcome back to Minnie in the Mountains. I am Jen. Last week we hit 500 subscribers. I am so completely grateful that 500 of you and now more are taking the time out of your day to watch me create something beautiful, something that I love to do. And I hope that I inspire you to make something beautiful as well. To celebrate, we're giving away the bag that we make today. The bag that we are making is the Pradaz Nylon Re-Edition Inspired Bag by TobiStylx. Look at this. Does this not scream 2010 VMAs? And I'm here for it. Move over, Brittany and Justin. It's my turn. I use this awesome acid wash Butter from Weft and Warp, and I am so obsessed with it. It literally feels like a pair of jeans, and I just love it. If I could win this bag, I would. So we have this piping accent along both panels that we do make in the video. I show you how to do it. And then there are two different closure options for up top. The one that I did is for heavy duty or industrial machines. As you can see, it gets sewn into the seam up top. There is an option for if you have a domestic machine. So she's got you covered. We open it up and we just have one zipper pocket with an overlay inside. And then I use waterproof canvas from Fabric Therapy. It's one of my favorite prints. And yeah, this bag comes together really easily, and there are new techniques to learn. So as always, thank you so much to TobiStylx for allowing me to use your patterns in my videos. I always learn something new from Tobi's patterns, and I love them. Let's talk more about this giveaway. So to enter, there will be a link in the description of this video for Rafflecopter, and I will say a code word somewhere in this video. I can still talk. I will say a code word. You're going to take that code word, put it into the Rafflecopter, and you also must be subscribed to this channel in order to win the bag. It is only open to US residents. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to do international yet. One day I will get there. So it's only open to US customers over 18. So if that applies to you, go ahead, enter the giveaway, and it will run for 1 week after this video is posted. So you have some time. Watch the video, find that code word, click the Rafflecopter, make sure you're subscribed, send me a comment, like this video, and let's make this. And then you can win it. Okay, we're gonna need 2 exterior cuts of our main panel and also 2 lining cuts. The exterior, I did fuse foam out of the seams. And then we're gonna need a gusset piece, also with foam out of the seams, and then 1 lining gusset. And then you need 2 cuts of our lining for our interior zipper pocket. Then you're going to need a zipper overlay for that interior pocket. In the pattern, she has these squared off. I beveled them, just personal preference. You do what you would like. Then you're going to need 2 of these cuts. These are going to go over our webbing. So this needs to be in a non-fraying material as well as our zipper overlay. Non-fraying. And then this has a little cut of Decaville Light for stabilizer on the back of both of those. So 2 cuts. And then you're going to need 2 cuts for our D-rings. Also with some stabilizer down the middle. And then, these are the fun parts. We have 2 cuts that are in the chart. We are going to make our own piping. So you need 2 of these. I drew a line down the center. And then you're going to need some kind of piping cord. I do not have actual piping cord except for like Mondo piping cord, which is going to be way too big. So I'm using this silky cord. We'll see how it goes. I know Kasaya at Saya Swag in her videos, she just folds over her vinyl and doesn't even put a cord in. I've seen her do that a couple of times and it looks beautiful. So we'll see how this stuff goes. And then you're going to need a cut of webbing. This is short. It's like 20 inches because it's supposed to be a little dainty bag. You can obviously adjust the length if you would like. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to do it just like in the pattern. And then we're going to need 2 cuts of zipper tape. One for exterior. No, I do not have light blue to match the denim butter. Come at me. I don't have light blue zipper tape. Sorry. And then an interior pocket cut of zipper tape. All right, the rest of our goodies that we're going to need, we need 2 1-inch swivel clasps, 2 3/4-inch D-rings, 2 zipper pulls. No, I do not have the same ones in silver. Again, we work with what we have. I have my name tag, and then I have a vinyl marking pen, an air erasing marking pen, a normal pen, which check out Kasaya's new pens. Holy cow, love these guys. And then I'm going to be using Tech 70 thread in, what is this? Seafoam green, also from Kasaya, it's Saya Swag. And this is all on my Juki 1181N. Okay, we're going to start with those long cuts for our piping. So in the pattern, she has a measurement marked. You're going to mark from the short edges in that amount. And then you're going to take some, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Some double-sided tape and run it down the center. I'm probably using a little too wide. I'm using 1/2 inch wide. You could use double or 1/4 inch or even some glue. In between those marks, put some tape down or some glue. Peel up the tape or do like how I always do and struggle. Here we go. And now take that piping cord, okay, lay it down in the center, lined up to one of those marks on the edges, and just run it down the center of that cut. And we're only going to go down to the other line. Okay, right where that other line is, we're going to cut the cord. Cut the cord. And then I like to burn this cord because it does tend to unravel. Okay. And then we're just going to fold it over. It's going to hold. You could put a bead of glue down this. You could sew really close to that cord. I am just going to fold it and pray for the best. Okay, so you're going to do that down the whole length. And then you're going to do the same to the other one. Okay, now that we have both of these pipings ready to go, we are going to put them to the side for a moment. Mine are already starting to want to pop up, so that's always fun. You're going to grab your exterior pieces. I'm going to start with just one. I'll do one on camera and one off. You're going to find and mark the centers of the top and bottom, just making little tiny snips. Okay. And now taking your piping and finding the center of your piping. Again, just making a little snip. Okay. We are going to, the piping, the part that we just put in, the cord, is going to be facing the interior of the bag. So match up your centers and clip. You're going to clip all the way around, and when we get to those corners, we are going to throw some snips into our piping as well to help them curve. Okay, and we start from down here instead of making like marks over here or whatever, because this piping is not going to go all the way up. So we're just going to allow it to go where it wants from where we clipped. Okay, I'm getting to that curve, so I'm going to make small snips. Our seam allowance around here is not huge, so make sure that your snips are small, less than 1/4 of an inch. I like to be a little obsessive with my snips. Okay, and we're just going to ease that in. You could lay some double-sided tape down if you want around this whole edge. I'm not going to, obviously. I will use my hemostats if I need. Oops, sorry, my phone just like almost fell. I'm very professional, people. Okay, and then once we get up to the top, oh, it said it's not gonna go all the way up to the top, but I guess we're going, the end of my cord is right here. So I'm gonna go up to where the end of my cord is, which you can kind of feel it inside. And then we're gonna veer it off. So here's the end. The end of my cord is right there. It's right there. I can feel it. We are going to veer off. I am by no means any kind of expert in piping. So it might come out a little wonk, but that's how you learn, right? Try things that you haven't tried. All right, do the same to the other side. Okay, now that we have clipped it all the way around, we are gonna baste all around our piping at 1/8 of an inch. You could use a narrow foot if you want. Let's bounce the camera around, get you sick. All right, and make sure that it's veered off where your cord ends. So just kind of pull it off to the side. Alrighty, we got that attached. And you can snip off your excess. Go from the back so you can see what you're doing. And just follow that up. Again, I am not an expert at piping, but I thought this would be fun to do to get a little more practice. All right, we're going to do that with our second exterior piece and our second piping cord. Again, make sure before you sew this down, all of your raw edges should be meeting up. Do not sew your piping cord facing the wrong way. So we have both our exterior panels with our piping on both of them, making sure that the raw edges are together. Don't sew the piping. And I did put my name tag on 1.5 inches from the bottom of one of the panels and centered. You can put yours on wherever you like, but now is the time to do that. And once you have those done, we can put those to the side. Now we're going to grab one of our lining main panel pieces in our zipper overlay. And if you have a little tag, isn't that fun? Drink more water. If you have a little tag, I like to kind of sneak it under our zipper overlay. So take your main lining panel and, put some double-sided tape on the back of your overlay. And I do like to burn the edges of the vinyl just so that there's no little fuzzies. I take the top piece off of my overlay and a 1/2 inch down from the top of that main panel, which is kind of tough because it's curved. Find the center of your overlay, which I did on the wrong side. Let me do that. I just fold it in half and crease it. So a 1/2 inch down. From there, match up the centers and press that top part down. And then I go ahead and take off the bottom and just let it fall where it wants to. Don't pull it. Okay. And now you can add your little tag in. I just lift up the part where I want and stick that under. Okay, now we're going to sew around the very outside of this zipper overlay. I'm going to leave tails long and we're going to tie them off. I like to start right where that tag is almost. Like I said, keep tails long and we're going to sew around just the outside of the box. All right. Sorry about the lighting on that. My hand kept hitting my light. Kept switching the modes. All right, and like I said, we're going to pull those threads off and tie them to the back. This is what we're working with so far. We need to get rid of this inside piece, so I like to just take a seam ripper, kind of start it, enough for me to get my scissors in there. And then I like to flip it to the back, and we're going to cut that away, making sure not to cut that overlay. This doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. Ain't no one going to see it. So I'm going to do that off camera because my scissors stink, but you're going to cut all the way around, and I'll show you it after. All right, we got the hole cut out. This is what it looks like from the back. As you can see, she's jagged, but that's okay. No one will see it. Once you have that done, we can put that to the side. And we're going to grab our 2 zipper pockets, or interior pocket pieces, and our zipper. On the back, before we do anything, I did make a line from the bottom 3/4 of an inch up because we are going to be turning this bag through the pocket and we're going to be folding that edge up. So go ahead and draw that line. And then I will put some double-sided tape on the tops. Find the centers if you would like. On the top of each zipper pocket lining piece. Okay, remove the tape on one of them. And keeping it right side up, taking your zipper, also facing right side up, kind of center the zipper as best as you can. You could also mark the zipper. I'm not going to. I did cut mine. I always cut mine longer than the lining pieces. Makes putting the zipper pull on a little easier. Okay, both are facing right side up. We're going to sew down this edge at either an 1/8 or a 1/4 inch. I believe in the pattern she uses a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so that is what we will use. We're going to do the exact same thing. Remove the tape from the other pocket lining piece. And with our zipper, again, facing right side up, and this lining panel right side up, match up the edges, but also make sure that the edges of your pockets are lining up as well. And press that in. You don't have to use double-sided tape here. I like to use double-sided tape, especially with zippers. It helps them not to shift as much. And do the same thing. Sew down this edge at a 1/4 inch. You're going to notice that one of your zipper pocket pieces is longer than the other one. That's okay. Maybe we shouldn't have drawn those lines yet because we're just going to trim it off. All right, I'm going to put some double-sided tape right on the edge of the zipper on top and bottom. Should be like right in between where we sewed, so it won't get in our stitching when we actually sew this on. And now we're going to put our zipper pull on. All right, we have our zipper pull on. And now is the time where you can trim up that excess. We are going to have to redraw that line on one of them. Like I said, do as I do, not as I say. But sometimes my brain likes to work faster than it should. All right, so we have one of those lines, the 3/4 inch lines drawn. We're going to do that on this side as well from the bottom. Okay. Now, taking our zipper with the pull closing to the left, we're going to grab our lining piece that we finished with the overlay. Remove the tape. I like to just take it off the top first and center that as best we can. And then I like to pull my pull all the way over so it gives me a good idea. All right, now we can remove the tape from the bottom and press that down as well. Okay, this is what we're going with here. Now flipping your pocket liner pieces up and away, we're just going to sew along this inside rectangle only on the bottom. And we're going to start like a step ahead down here, and then we're going to go a step beyond down on this side. And we're going to leave threads long, and we're going to tie them off. So one step prior, and then we'll go to one step after. Okay. Nice long tails. And then flip it over and pull out the beginnings. Okay, and tie them off. Again, this is just the bottom line that we did. And our lining pieces were facing up, 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 and away. Did anyone else learn that in driver's ed class? Like when you're parking on an uphill, you point your tires up, up, and away. It's probably the only thing I remember from actual driver's ed class. And then I do like to burn my threads on both sides. All right, I'll move back here. Don't know what happened there, but okay. All right, now we're going to point them both back down. So both liners should be facing down. And right where we started and stopped, we're going to go back in that hole and sew around this box and finish in the hole that we left off on before. Okay, back in that hole, threads are long again. Hold them if you need, and sew around. All right. Come on. All right, do the same thing. Pull the threads to the back and tie them off. All right, before we close up this pocket, we are going to, well, I'm going to put a strip of double-sided tape right underneath that line. I'm having a really hard time talking today, I don't know why. On both of the panels. You could press this with your iron, whatever you would like. We just want this to stay open or pressed up so that when we go to close it at the end, we have a nice easy fold that we can just sew. All right, so I'm folding the bottom to meet that line on both of the liner pieces. So now both of our pockets should be around the same size. Again, this is an interior pocket, so it does not have to be 100% perfect. Okay, now I'm going to line up the edges of that pocket piece and throw in some clips. And if you have tape that's coming in here, make sure to remove that or move it out of the way because we are going to be sewing that. I like to move my zipper pull kind of in the middle so I don't hit that and scare the bejesus out of myself. Done that before. I didn't center this very well, this zipper pocket. So I have a very little, itty bitty little seam there. All right. All right. We don't need to leave tails long. We are going to backstitch really well at the, especially at the bottom. As you can see, I had to get real close because if you don't center your zipper completely properly, you are going to wind up with a very little scant place to sew. And that's a little scary, but we make it work. All right, do the same to the other side. I'm going to start at the top on this one. I think my bobbin is getting low, so we're going to change that. And then once we clip all our threads, we can trim down any excess zipper tape. And as you can see, how come this is so much longer? We don't want that. We're going to want to trim we're going to want to trim our pocket and then re-sew. I'm just not going to fold it. I'm just not going to fold it over. I should have noticed that before. Because obviously we don't want this in our seam. So I'm just going to cut it there. Okay. And I was following the measurements in the pattern, so I don't know what happened there. But I'm going to go back and I'm just going to sew over the bottom here just to hold those stitches so they don't unravel. All right, we're good now. Oh, except I forgot to trim my zipper tape. But you see, I don't have this folded, but it is still open. So it's fine. It'll make it a little harder to turn it in when we're all done. But no harm, no foul. Okay, cool. We can set that to the side and move on to the next part. Grabbing one of our exterior pieces, we're going to start working with the zipper closure, the main zipper closure. So I did put a little strip of 1/8 inch wide double-sided tape on this curve since it is a pretty aggressive concave curve. And we should have the centers marked on the top here. Take your zipper and you're going to find the midpoints. I did make little snips and I did burn them. I burnt in those little snips so that won't unravel, but you could always use a pen, and we're going to unzipper this. Now, before we go any further, I want to note that there are two different zipper closure options. This one that I'm doing is for heavy duty machines like my industrial. If you have a domestic machine, she does have instructions on how to do the top zipper closure, because this zipper is going to get sewn into our top gusset piece. So if your machine cannot handle that, do option B in the pattern. Okay. All right, so we're going to take one piece of our zipper and we're going to match up face down, right sides together with that center mark. And we're going to go around and we're going to make sure not to really stretch the zipper, because that's how we're going to get waviness. So we'll see how well I do. All right, and on top of that, I am going to add some clips. We are going to be basting this too. All these precautions are just to prevent as much waviness as we can. Okay. I don't know, I'm kind of digging the olive green with the denim. I feel like I wore a lot of olive green and denim in middle school, though, in high school. All right, do that to the other side. Again, trying not to severely stretch the zipper. You are going to need to stretch it a little bit. I know some people do like to make snips into the zipper. I don't really like to take that chance of an unraveling, but if you do, just, I would say burn the snips, because you don't want to finish your bag and then a week, a month, a year down the road or whatever, your zipper is unraveling. That would be really sad. Okay, so as you can see, this goes all the way up to the top on both sides. Now we have that double-sided tape and the clips, but we are going to baste that at 1/8 of an inch too. All right, basting at 1/8 of an inch. All right, we have that basted onto one of the panels. Taking the lining piece that does not have the pocket on it, if you're working with the front, or if you want the zipper pocket to be on the front side of the bag, that's fine. Right sides together and sandwiching in that zipper, matching up those center marks again. And clip. You could put another row of double-sided tape here. I'm not going to, because I like to live dangerously. And clip all the way up. All right, and the other side. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to sew along that curve at 1/4 of an inch. A 1/4 inch sewn, we're going to take our lining and flip it up. I'm going to see how well this turns, if we need some relief cuts. And we're going to flip our lining to the back. Really pressing good and making sure to get those edges out. I am going to throw a clip in the edges. Just kind of hold it in place on both sides. Okay, and then just press. Press as well as you can, finger press. Okay, and then we're going to top stitch all along the zipper. One side of our zipper installed and top stitched. We are going to do the exact same process with our back main panel and our lining panel with that zipper and the other piece of our zipper tape. But before we do that, the code word, the part that you've all been waiting for. Code word to win this bag is skeleton. Skeleton. Okay, so go to the Rafflecopter link in the description below, put in that word, and make sure that you are subscribed, and you can win this bag. All right, we got both of them with the liners attached and top stitch. Now we're going to add our zipper pull. So how I like to do that is match up where each of these lines up on the side and just kind of throw a clip. And same on the other side. Whoop, throw the clips. We all know that's important. Now that'll give us an idea of where our zipper tape meets up. And then if you're doing it this way, option A, I'm going to put this on and then pull it all the way off. Oh man, see, tried so hard to get it not wavy. Maybe it'll even out. And I'm going to pull it all the way off and then do it again. Because like I said before, these are going to get sewn into our gusset pieces. I'm only going to pull it about halfway. Okay, and then once that's on, I'm really hoping that that flattens out because it looked really good before. Once that's on, we can put that to the side. I apologize, it got really dark in here. It just started monsooning out. Gotta love Florida weather. Now we're going to grab our two D-ring connectors that have that deck of a light in the middle and our two 3/4 inch D-rings. I'm just going to add a strip of double-sided tape down the center of the connectors. And then we're going to fold the connectors around that deck of a light. You could also draw a line down the middle, but just fold them in, and you're going to butt the edges up right to it. And same for the other one. Okay, now we're going to sew down the long edges of our D-ring connectors on both of them. Get all those threads out of there. And now we can, I like to turn them over so the wrong side's facing up, and then I'll just throw another little piece of double stick tape on the end. Pull that backing off of the tape, and then thread the D-ring on and fold it over. Okay, you could baste at the end. I never do because double stick tape. I love double stick tape. Okie doke. And then we're going to grab our exterior gusset piece. And in the center of that gusset piece, you're going to line up the D-ring connectors. You're going to have about 3/8 of an inch hang off, which is what we want, to give it a little more stability. And then we're going to just baste that on. Now go back a couple times just to really secure it, even though we will be stitching again, you know, just added. And then do the same to the other side. Match it up with about 3/8 of an inch overhang and baste. Okay, so now that's what it should look like. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, these next couple steps make me a little nervous. Probably just because I've never done like this before. So now we have this piece, right, that with the zipper attached to it. We're gonna open that flat and we're gonna take our gusset piece, make sure our D-rings are pointing down, and we're gonna line up that short edge with the top. So see, the points are like that. And the tab is going to be centered with our zipper tape. And we're going to throw some clips. And we're going to baste that down, making sure that this is open flat as best as it can. We're going to baste that down at 1/8 of an inch. All right. Now, taking our lining gusset piece, we're going to put it right sides together with the lining and lining that edge up with the exterior. And clip. Now in the pattern, she has this like sewn, like for real sewn, still at 1/8 of an inch. That makes me really nervous. So I think I'm gonna do 1/4, and hopefully it doesn't muck everything up. So just make sure that your D-rings are out of the way too, because that would be scary. All right. So this is what we should have. Like that. It's gonna be. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So again, open that up. Make sure the D-ring is out the way. And then line it up. My gusset is a little wider than the panel. I feel like all my gussets are like that though. We're gonna go with it. And tack that down. Okay. Now, same deal with the gusset, making sure that this piece doesn't get tangled because we're working with a lot of like loosey-goosey pieces here. And match that. Okay. And again, I'm going to do 1/4 inch since that's what I did on the other side. Again, in the pattern, it says 1/8. I am doing 1/4 just because 1/8 seems really small. Hopefully it doesn't screw it up. Okay, so we have this whole contraption here. Now, separating the liner, you should have your gusset centers marked if you haven't. You should do that before. And we're going to take one side of it and match it with the centers of our exterior. And we're going to clip around. So we're going to continue clipping the entire way around. Okay, so I sewed that other side off camera because my son walked in and it got a little loud. So now we're going to attach the lining in the same manner that we did. Make sure to open your zipper pocket on that lining panel. And then also, you're going to want to mark a 6-inch opening on the bottom of one of them. And we're not going to sew that part. So we're going to leave an opening in the bottom gusset as well as that pocket, and it'll make turning the bag a lot easier. So match up the midpoints all the way around. And then we will sew this. We're going to start at the tops at our same seam allowance. In the pattern, she actually keeps it the same all the way around. But I'm going to start at 1/4 and I'm going to increase to a 3/8 just so that we don't have any sagging linings. Okay, so on these lining panels, it is going to be hard to get towards the top, so we're not going to like force it. We're going to just start as far as we can get, and then there's a way to make sure that there are no holes. So again, I'm going to start at 1/4 and then I'm going to increase to 3/8. So I could not get all the way up to the top. And I also left my opening where we marked. Okay, so if you couldn't get all the way up, like how I didn't, we can do is clip all the layers together, exterior and lining. Clip them all together just at the top. We're going to do this on both sides if I can hold it. Okay, and just for the first like inch or so down, we're going to sew them all together, and that will take care of any holes that may have been left. Okay, so we're going to do that on both sides of that. And then we're going to attach this lining piece the exact same way, except we're not going to leave a hole in this one because we already have our turning hole. But as you can see, these layers are now all sewn together just for like the first inch or so. All right, so this is what we're working with. All four edges are sewn together for the first inch. Make sure no holes. And then you're going to reach in here. I should have told you before to open the top zipper. You're going to reach in through that hole we left and very gently push your bag through that hole. Okay, sorry, that took a minute. These sides are pretty bulky, but I got them poked out as best as I can. I didn't want to like really force it because we don't want to rip anything. So now we need to just close up both of our holes. So pull out that lining or that pocket lining, pull that all the way out, and then reach in and grab our lining panel in our gusset lining and match up the centers of the hole that we left. And just clip along that hole. And then we're just going to sew that with the 3/8 inch seam allowance. And then just push that pocket back inside, popping out those holes, popping out the corners, making sure there isn't any holes. You don't want your stuff to fall through. All right, we can close that up. Push the liner in all the way. Yeah, I think doing that 3/8 inch seam allowance, it makes it so it's not baggy in there. But and of course, she's a little wavy, but that's okay. All right, now all that we have to do is put, it's gonna bug me. She's still cute though. We just need to put the little ends onto our strap and then we'll be done. Okay, so take our piece of webbing, our two little connector pieces here, and our two swivel clasps. You're gonna take, I put some double-sided tape on the back of these. You could use glue as well. And fold that a little bit and thread your swivel clasp on. And then take the double-sided tape off one end and put your 1.5 inch wide webbing right to where it kind of fans out, because you don't want the webbing sticking out. And I did burn the edges of this. You could edge paint too if you really wanted to, but I am not an overachiever today. Match up all the edges just like that, and then we're gonna sew as close to that as we can get and all the way around. Or my in frame, I cannot tell. Okay, I'm gonna sew around as close as we can get. Which way do I want to do this? Because I did take my zipper foot off because we don't get along. Okay. You could throw some rivets in here or go around again. I think I'm just going to go around a second time, like 1/8 of an inch away from that first set. So now we have extra stability. All right, and we're gonna do that for the other side as well. Alrighty, so we got both of these attached to our straps. Now all we have to do is move you guys back so you can see what's going on. There we go. So you see I did get the waviness out. I just pressed it a little bit. And then we just add our strap. And you could totally leave it like that. It's super cute, and it does hang longer than I thought it would. So 20 inches I think is good. But in the pattern, she also calls for a little bling bling for a little decorative chain. I didn't have a plain one, but oh man. Okay, I kind of really dig the pearls on there. Oh my gosh, she came out so cute, huh? So cute. What do you think? You like this pattern? I think everyone should definitely try it. I think next time I would definitely try the version B, where you square off the end and then use a zipper end on one end. But this was so much fun. I hope you all love sewing it with me. And if you want to win this cutie patootie, remember to click on that raffle copter link and enter the code word that I said in the video. Make sure that you are subscribed, like this video, send me a comment, and until next time, friends, I'll see ya.